Greetings, adventurers, or whomever, or whatever might be listening to this entry. It is I, Faustus Delafay, priest of Eldeth in the year 132 by Imperium reckoning. We find ourselves, this coterie of heroes, on the precipice of salvation, and we have everything we need to prevent at least one of the forthcoming dooms. Lilith is returned, and along with her, Lolliput, Kit, and Isabel make a formidable force. We also have the Eye of Mystra, the clockwork amulet as well. Only the crystalline wave is out of reach. Damn Titus. As the planes continue to push towards their zenith, we stand on the sands of the Corlean Desert in southern Etheria, a day's march or so from Athal Fain, the city of creation. Iran and the Lingari people have been a boon to us, though this part of the journey has been filled with darkness, heat, sand, and sandworms, and bile. And not just from the worms, but a certain drow who remains very cranky with me, and I don't mean Kit. There are still many mysteries ahead of us. The Redeemer and her tales have left us with more questions than answers, blurring the lines of good and evil, forcing many of us, forcing me, to reconsider what I know. I have much to meditate on for any part Eldeth played in the past events, if this lost history is to be believed. In a most desperate hour, we turn to our enemies for support, Lolliput having calmed down long enough to be inspired to suggest a controversial idea of calling home for help from his family. Do our objectives unexpectedly align with our enemies? We search now for a single specific tree as we wait for a druid in the service of Lolthanwei to help usher us closer toward the Silver Veil. We have everything we need, except time, and possibly faith. This is Faustus Delafay, signing off.
Like, you just got to research it.
Interpretive death. Hey! Yeah, it was working and then it wasn't working.
Okay.
It was working and then it wasn't working.
Nope.
Okay. I don't know whether I'm connecting the right microphone.
What is happening?
Now, some of the microphones are currently working.
Mine's working.
It's feedback into it.
It is.
Mine's working.
Yeah, we want to turn that off now.
Alright.
We're about to get a shriek.
Give me one more moment. I might throw to Andrew to say some words. Alright, some stuff and junk and things, just while I try and pick up the last microphone.
Yes. I'm Andrew.
Save us.
150
Right.
subs on Twitch.
Where's my popcorn?
Yes, we have hit 150 followers on Twitch, so thank you all our wonderful viewers and supporters out there for your support of viewership. This is what happens when you ad-lib it. But I think news. Well, we still have our fantastic sponsors, as you guys might still know. You can see them in the carousel underneath DM Luke, our Eldritch Foundry, which is 15% off their 3D mini custom website building software. And the other one is Roll with Advantage, which the website's still up to get you 12% off. One-time only deal. Go to the link in the ad and get these shiny dice. In other news, next week we are returning to Cult of Hunger. Finally, because we had a bit of a cliffhanger and we need to see whether or not the group can get out of their current predicament again.
Once more. With feeling.
Once more with feeling. So yeah, that's it at the moment.
Exactly how many levels up did we get while waiting for this cliffhanger to drop?
I got out at least 6 times.
You level up 6
I
times.
got out of the cage at least 6 times.
That's gotta be some XP.
Thrown back in the cage 6 times.
That's got to be some XP you got from that.
Sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Cage opening alone. That's
We will probably
It's the
have a
picking
level
skill.
up after this session.
If we survive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big if.
We'll see.
That's a carrot on the stick that you're just dangling there.
Yeah. As if continued existence isn't,
Reward enough?
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah. Me not killing you is how I reward my players.
So what did I do wrong?
Huh?
What did I do wrong then?
Getting killed?
Yeah.
No, that's the right thing.
That's the reward.
That's the reward.
That's the release from this eternal torment.
Yeah.
But then I just roll another one
Yeah.
and he kills that.
Yeah.
Alright, we appear to be good to go.
Excellent.
One last special announcement, and I'm pretty sure she's not watching anyway. Happy birthday to my lovely wife. She's definitely not watching.
It's too bad we can't give the DM inspiration.
We can. We just don't.
We don't want that.
We don't want that.
Yeah.
There's a benefit is using that loot table for me.
Hopefully, I'm pretty sure the recap worked because we did do a quick sound check while it was on.
I did hear it for a second.
So, we will pick up with the group just after their last conversation. They went to bed after the conversation. Waking up the next morning in the Colleen Desert in the Lingiari encampment. What would people like to do?
So I'm going to find Kit because, I'm an early riser. And let's start a conversation, if she's awake, about sort of the implications of the Redeemer if Eldith was an active participant in, essentially wronging this, this figure that had risen to power. So I'm gonna just, wander around the camp, see where Kit is, and see if she's asleep or awake. I want to see if she's awake. I don't want to talk to her while she's sleeping. That'd be weird.
That would be incredibly weird. Not the weirdest thing that has happened yet, but
No, Lilith
Or
doesn't have
what
that.
Pulsus has done.
Well, I like a little breakfast wine. It's not that weird. Wait, what did you do while I was away?
well.
Like I said, don't watch the episode.
No, so Kit's absolutely awake. Sitting sort of up on the bedroll.
Kit, there's been something that's been. I just come straight. It's something that's been on my mind all night.
Yes, Falsters.
The stories of this Redeemer and Eldith's participation. If true, I cannot abide this. What are your thoughts on this being, as it were, in with the Redeemer, or one of her acolytes, perhaps?
Well,
Could she be mistaken? Could she be wrong?
only as much as my eyes could be.
We were there. Ah,
I wasn't there, but during the time, if you remember in the temple, I ended up getting,
visions.
yes, from the facade on the wall.
Yes.
I saw it as if I were there, to the point where I felt the Redeemer's presence as an element of truth to the scene. And it really is that I can only trust my own senses in that regard, and I saw what I saw.
Eldith, in all of her, I can't say mighty glory because she's a pacifist, her her very calm and relaxed waterfall-like glory, absolute tranquility embodied, not at peace with the Redeemer, a part of this ploy, this great wrong.
with the Redeemer effectively grounds beneath her boot, standing with the rest of the Triumvirate.
That can't be right. She's always barefoot. She doesn't wear boots.
Okay, to be fair, I didn't.
No, it's, I'm struggling with it because I can only imagine that with a long enough horizon, she must have the wisdom to see this as a part of what is. It's the only thing that can make any sense of it.
Well, it really depends on how fallible you think your god is. Does she have plans beyond what she passes down to her priesthood, or do you know everything that she does?
She's rather quiet these last few decades, I suppose. I cannot say. I mean, does the Redeemer speak to you? My God does not speak to me. Not in that manner. It's not like I could come over here and wake her up and say, hey, let's talk about what you did to the Redeemer.
The Redeemer, we've had conversations at length.
At length?
You were there for them.
Yes, well, this is a confusing time. I was not feeling quite myself.
Yeah.
I seem to remember feeling very, very emotional.
You were very powerful in your gestures.
Yes, one might say dramatic. That must have just been how I was feeling at the time. But yeah, look.
We all did go through trials that day. It was a long one, to be fair.
Yes.
But look, I have been studying these tomes we did get, that I've managed to rescue from the frankly senseless destruction of a temple by certain people in Althalvayan. And I mean, as much as these documents can be believed, then the Redeemer was betrayed, and soundly so. I mean, if these writings are a direct translation from her hand or from her teachings, then it appears that Eldath betrayed her in the pursuit of power.
It makes no sense. And I pull out my my big notebook, and you can see I've been scrolling through pages, and I've bookmarked I've got several.
We can book
bookmarks.
off.
Yeah, literally. And I'm like, it's completely incompatible with it. It makes. I mean, it was some time ago, of course, but they don't measure things the same way that we do in the mortal realms.
Well, 1,500 years, as far as I recall from what we encountered down there. But look, it's still all up in the air. And to say what you do now what you do now is up to you. I'm not going to judge you for the actions of your god. After all, I would be, she is the Redeemer. It's in her nature to allow time for consideration and changing of one's plans, given new knowledge or understanding. But
there is wisdom in that, yes.
I can't help but look on with disdain at Eldath's actions. Even if it doesn't necessarily translate to yourself.
I just can't bring myself to believe this, that there perhaps is... I want to believe it is conspiracy, that these records, your eyes and what you saw are in error. I have vowed my life to the teachings of Eldath. I'm one of her order. And as you can imagine, I find myself deeply troubled as we get closer and closer to the darkness.
I mean, right. Also, but I mean, if I'm seeing things as if firsthand, then what am I meant to do but believe it? Even here, look. So in this, I've been reading through this.
Start writing down notes.
Where is it? So this looks like it is a journal from either the Redeemer's hand or passed down.
Where's the part about Elder's boot on neck?
Well, you've got that section there, feeding on the powers of the lesser gods. So that's a little bit damning.
Yes, and there is, that translation is
Yes.
Eldith, yes, clearly.
But one of the first things she says is that, well, it's the statement of history is written by the victors. If Eldith survived as such a power in the Triumvirate, what is to say that either they or her followers simply rewrote history in their favor?
Yes, perhaps there was a different way. I mean, not to have you, and not that it sounds like you are, to doubt yourself. I find myself deeply troubled. I owe my power, my place in this world to the Order of Eldith and the circles that I've traveled in, and now here we are. Everything I know feels like I cannot follow a god like that. And I've not heard. Though I meditate, though I pray, I have not heard.
This is your struggle, and I cannot... I suppose we're on opposite sides of the coin. You seem to be losing your faith as I'm discovering mine. And I can't help but, I do feel sympathy for you. But I've seen what I've seen, and what you do now is up to you. But I will say that by nature, the Redeemer would welcome you with open arms.
Yes, well, thank you for sharing me the words, at least one more. I feel I could read them a dozen more times and still be just as conflicted. I mean, anybody could write a book. Lollywood could write a book. Lilith, Isabel.
Look, absolutely.
They could say anything they want.
They could, but...
For example, Lilith could write a story about how she doesn't steal from everybody and has never stabbed a person in her life. Would it be true? No, of course not. And as I look generally over into some direction where Lilith might be.
Lilith is inevitably haunting, just...
She's like outside.
I feel her breath on my back of my neck.
When you say her name, the hairs on your back. And you're just like...
Yeah. But in saying that, I'm still working my way through these tomes. So I will be happy to share with you what I find, but I mean, everything that I've seen so far has been fairly damning.
Yes, in these times, I suppose I must still question, but retain my faith, lest she have reason, the opportunity, nay, to explain herself.
If that does happen, then I would be curious to hear what her side of the story is. But as I'm concerned, we all saw the vision of the end, as it were, the pivotal moment.
Yes.
And it was not Eldith rising out of the darkness as a beacon of hope, but the Redeemer. And if I have to stand by anything and hope that we succeed, then that must be it.
Yes, she may yet have a part to play. But
it's guaranteed. It was a moment of truth.
I struggle with this, kid.
We're all struggling in the same direction, at least.
Yes. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. I would really, really hate to have to, I don't know, break your kneecaps or something. That's...
Yes, and I would hate to read your mind, see it coming, and banish you to another plane of existence. So let it not happen. It was a joke, by the way.
Joke, not a challenge. Very good. Just, dagger down.
I meant, of course, heal my kneecaps, because it takes a lot out of me having to heal. It's part of the reason why, in the heat of battle, I didn't quite understand that Lilliput wanted me to heal him at the time. There were other priorities, and I circled back.
That's how much HP I had.
But look, be it as it may, look, I stand by your decision, where it is. I cannot judge you for what you didn't know. But should we continue to find evidence of Veldath's betrayal, then, I mean, if you choose to continue along with your faith in them, then I can only read into that what your actions say.
Perhaps it's but a selfish thing. I owe Eldith my power, and as we approach what feels like a dark moment, if my powers were to fail me in that crucial moment, if I were not able to heal Lolliput when he is on 1 HP,
It would be
and
doubly
because of my
worse.
own faith being questioned, perhaps it's selfish. I don't want to be the reason we fail.
Double worse.
Double. But look, I absolutely. As I said, we're all struggling together, and ultimately, even as we were speaking about potentially the idea of the lesser or greater evil gods as allies, we can only really bank on the fact that without a world's continued existence, well, they can't reign over nothing.
You speak of the Lolthanweis, and perhaps an accord with chaos and Lolth.
Yes. Even the Redeemer herself mentioned that they may not be as far from allies as we thought. So we're all having to challenge our beliefs at this time. And look, I have discovered some troubling things that I found about the Redeemer themselves, and I'm still working through that. But similar to you, I have to have faith. And I have to trust that they did the right thing, and I've been through many times where I've not always been a good person. And I've done my best, even, I mean, depending on if you believe that the Divines choose us before we choose them, with or without the Redeemer's influence. I've tried to do my best in spite of the things that I've done. And I feel like it's the only way we can succeed.
Yes. I'll take heart in that, kid. Speaking of the Lolthanweis, any idea about where this bloody tree is? It's in the desert. Where is Lolliput?
I'm not sure.
Well, Lolliput is also an early riser. And more of an early riser.
An early riser?
The earliest of risers.
Doubly early.
Doubly early. So Lolliput has, of course, left at just before dawn for the Mystic Dawn Lingiari Ritual Mystic Clothes Bequeathing.
You said mystic way too many times.
I just want to make sure our dungeon master understands the gravity of this ceremony. He has, of course, taken Isabel as his second.
Yeah.
And Lolliput stands there before the Lingiari tribe as the sun crests over the desert, naked completely, letting the dawn's light bathe his body.
Wait, does he have...
Just a friendly reminder that there are two suns rising.
You were 5 minutes later,
Understand.
you are just...
It's glorious.
Does he have
One for each buttocks.
Does he still have his scarf on? No?
Not even the repaired scarf that
I mended.
that Falstus mended for him. They're
He'll come around.
embracing the dawn's light as he turns to Lilingari to take the ritual offering of mystic clothes, which are also mystic. Now I've actually looked up a list of magical items. We can sort out the details later. But if you know, so what are we thinking? Wondrous, double wondrous.
Aran is there with a pile of clothes, neatly folded, sits on his knees.
Is he also nude?
Bows his forehead to the sand.
I also touch my head to the sand.
If he is, he'll come out of this far better.
In honor of your heroism in fighting the great sandworms and service to the Lingiari people, I've earned you, Lilliput, with these vestments.
I'm still with the most basic ones they have.
And he hands them over. I believe they should be a good fit for you. They are... I have made them up, but I haven't started them on D&D Beyond yet, so I'll send you what they are.
Thank you.
But as far as appearance goes, they are the soft yellows of the sand dunes. That are very similar to the colour of the chitinous armour of the sandworms themselves. And do you put them on?
I, of course, put them on while singing the traditional Lingiari song. Yes,
As you're putting them on, a wonderful coolness comes over you, and it appears to have some protection from the intense heat of the still rising second sun that's appeared in the skies of Amar.
Isabel, the sunburn on my buttocks already feels much better.
She's not looking at you. she's off to the side, meditating. She wants no part in this.
It feels really good, Isabel. You should feel this thread count. It is incredible. I touch my head to the sand. I thank you, the Lingiari people, for this gift. I shall wear it with honor.
I'm focusing a little bit. I do not need to.
A few children in the background have a bit of a giggle and run off. But Iran seems fairly solemn about the occasion, as they will serve you well in the deserts. And anywhere that you need protection.
Very good. I go up to shove Isabel. Isabel, wake up! Look at this. Check out my threads. What do you think?
Well, I do fit you. Fine. Lolliput.
Sorry, fine? Yes! I'll take it. Lilith! You owe me a tenner!
I'm pretty sure she stayed up on like a ridge line. She's like, what?
Just as you are
Fine!
basking in the glory of your new vestments, you receive a message through the sending stone.
Ding ding.
The rock, who's this?
There,
Sorry.
Did you use like a message?
yeah.
I can still receive them.
First thing that comes through, less of a word, more of a Lollipots. There's a small stand of trees a little north of the tip of the northwestern edge of the deserts. Look for a large tree with a face carved into it. Inform us when you arrive. That's it. Do not use up your response.
Oh, would have been worth it.
You can now if you'd like.
Was it Mum?
No, it was not.
Message received. We shall be there.
Now you start your response.
Most hastily. Roger.
Lolliput, you really need to actually think about what you're saying before you speak.
That's not my way, Isabel. You know, I just like to open my mouth and let whatever's in there come out.
Sometimes we shouldn't do that.
Blah, 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 blah. See, just did it again. You finished meditating yet?
Why did you wake me up so early for this?
I told you I needed a second. It's official Lingiari policy for any mystical robe bequeathing to have a second there for you to give me away. Have you ever been married before?
No.
Oh. Well,
Have
that
you?
explains. Yeah, a couple of times.
Excuse me?
I mean, less than 5.
Excuse me.
Less than 5.
So I come down by this point because I couldn't hear what he was saying. And I walk over and I'm just like, what?
You owe me a 10. She said they're little fines.
What do you mean?
They're clothing.
You said last night, I bet you a tenner, when you put those robes on, you look like trash. Da da da, dee dee dee, dum dum face.
Well, for starters, that does sound like me. But I didn't bet you, and they do look like trash.
No, they don't. She said they looked fine. Quote, unquote.
Strong.
I like grab Isabel, bring her in and go, Isabel, why are you pandering to this buffoon? What do you actually think? They look like trash, right? You feel that
Isabel. Isabel,
You
do
feel
not
like-
let her
Definitely trash, right?
destroy your integrity.
I mean, I kind of do.
Do you look fine?
They are clothing.
No, I take it away. But you clearly see that she pulls that dagger and puts it away.
That's a tenner.
You will not be getting any more opinions from me from now on, Lolliput.
That's that. What you've said is it's gold. Never change. Never change, Isabel. Never change. Lilith. Lilith. Lilith.
I flick you a platinum, and I just go. Actually, while I've got you, Lilliput, I do want to talk to you about something.
Sure. What do you need?
Will you meditate, and I'll take this one somewhere quiet.
Lovely. Thank
Oh,
you.
no, Lilith. I've already told you I'm not interested.
It's not for that.
Oh, okay,
Not this
sure.
time, anyway.
All right.
But I'll lead him to outskirts of the Lingui. Actually, we probably go back to where we end up. I take a seat on a rock, and I sort of just like. Can I ask you a question?
Fire away, best friend.
Are we best friends? I've had a friend before.
I mean, through process of elimination, yeah.
Normally they're servants. And when they're friends, they're just servants that are ordered to be friends with me. Anyway, what does family mean to you?
Family. Well, to be frank, up until about 6 months ago, it was all I had. Everything. My totality of my experience was my family. Locked in my estate as I was, I had my mother, a caring individual, somebody who I felt a kinship with, beyond just the normal motherly, sunny relationships that were there. My uncles, on the other hand, they were a different matter. So, two ends of the spectrum in terms of like and loathing, one would say. But family, it's somebody to show you the way, to complement your triumphs and help you learn from your failings.
And given the rather interesting events that we've perchance found about your heritage and your family, how does that make you feel about them?
Looking around. So I think I can level with you. I may have reacted poorly in the Underdark. I had always thought my family was upstanding, and to find that they were perpetrating some foul deed on the land that could possibly lead to the death of many dark elves and many innocents, that was something to come to terms with. Lilith. I met Lolth. I mean, I actually met her. I didn't think it was going to happen. I sat down and said some stuff. Before I knew it, I was in front of the Spider Queen herself.
Oh, devilishly interesting.
You know what? Not so bad.
I'm very sure she wasn't.
I mean, what's she supposed to be? The god of lies and deceit and secrets?
Something along those lines. I don't remember paying too much attention in our theology classes.
I mean, we do that on a daily. What's so bad about that? I'm failing to see if we look at who. All right, just bear with me here for a second. What's the problem? I mean, she's not the god of diarrhea, like violent, deadly diarrhea. That would be. I don't know if I could get behind that. But
I already know who that god is.
Ooh. You warned me if we were near that church, right?
Well, you might already know one of their clergy.
Oh, and you let him touch my leg?
No, I'm not talking about him.
Anyway, I was upset at first. I don't think she's... I think she might be an innocent in all of this, much like the Redeemer.
Well, lots of gods have been captured and sent into that prison, so...
Right? Good, chaotic, off the beaten path, alternative, one would say.
They're very alternative, some of them.
Look, if that
Like
gates...
the god of time.
Oh, that's pretty left field.
But if we brought that all back, you obviously have come to terms that there are shades of grey when it comes to people's lives, choices they make. But your family doesn't change how you feel about them.
Well, to be frank, it changed, and now it's changed back.
You still feel love for them. You would do anything for them.
Well, no, not anything. I'm my own person. I have my house and my people to think of. Not anything.
And if you were still obviously in this chaos, how would you feel about... What if you didn't know? What if you didn't have belonging? Or didn't feel like your family was where you belonged? Would you still have ties to them there, or would you...
Well, if I'm getting a sneaking suspicion, this might not be about me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you want to talk about family?
I just want to know your unique perspective, considering how much has changed in your family over a short period of time, or at least your perception of them.
All I will say on matters of my family is that they are people. For better or for ill, they are likely to do great things as make mistakes. And learning when to forgive those and when not to is something I'm still working on. But how do you feel about family? What's going on with this whole double princess thing going for you now?
Look, I don't rightly know. But if you want to know about the Unseelie Court...
Dish!
Well, it's an interesting place. But you can already probably tell what kind it is by how I am.
Conservative.
Very much so. But look, when it's all said and done, my wonderful mother...
That's a weird sound.
My mother.
Sorry, I didn't turn off my cell phone. My wonderful mother is the Queen of Air and Darkness. She's the Archfey of the Unseelie Court. You know, rules over that side of the Fae, much like Princess or Empress Titania, I believe her name is, of the normal other Fae. And, you know, it's an interesting place, the Unseelie Court. There's a lot of hags, there's a lot of backstabbing, there's a lot of political drama, there's a lot of more backstabbing, and quite frankly, it's a place of treachery, lies, deceit, and only those who hold all of the cards underneath the table end up winning.
And does that hold true for your relationship with your mother?
Oh, I don't have a relationship with my mother. Though she seemed to dote on me a little bit when I was younger, the moment I came of age, as a half-fae, I was whisked away and taken under the care of one of the stewards of the house who is in charge of my training, and in order to make sure that I am also equally deceitful and treacherous. A knife in the dark, ready to strike whenever it's necessary. Just like my brothers and sisters. The only difference is, they're all purebloods and I am not.
Have you considered reaching out to your mom?
I don't particularly want to talk to her. Nor my brothers and sisters, because at the end of the day, it wasn't where I felt I needed to be. I always felt I was destined for something more, something greater.
And that's why you're looking for making a change into the picture of your dad in that sepia tone. This guy?
Just for everybody's viewership out there.
That's
That
right.
guy.
Lollywood just got markedly more handsome.
Look, is it so wrong to find or have a wanting in order to find a place of meaning?
Don't get defensive. I am here for you. If there's one thing I am a massive advocate of, is focusing on the little stories.
Anyway, yes, more or less. That is why I'm seeking my father. Because I want to know one simple question.
That is?
Why? Why do I exist?
Oh shit.
I am a bastard child of two bloodlines, created for what purpose? Because when it's all said and done, I'm not like any of the other daughters and sons of my mother, nor do I have the same respect. I was always treated as the half-blooded princess, which meant that I was lesser, which meant that I had to work twice as hard to even keep up with them.
Tell me, Lilith, when you find your father and you lay out that question, will there be an answer that will bring you solace?
I guess I won't know until I get an answer. And if it doesn't, I guess I'll either have to keep searching or go back to the beginning. Cat-like sneeze. And there's that cat-like treasure-like grimace that sort of comes in. I guess the biggest, weirdest thing for you is that happens a lot, and it's not an illusion that you can tell. It's almost as if our facial changes do actually change.
That's a pretty cool disguise thing you got going on there.
Anyway, thanks for the chat.
Good talk. Shall we hug?
I don't think that's necessary.
Fivesies?
Perhaps a cordial fist bump.
Ooh. Coming in hot.
You made it weird, and I walk away.
Yeah, me a fist bump.
All right. else people would like to do? No?
No.
Alright.
To the north.
To the north?
To the north, to the north, to the northwest.
Alright, so
Northwest.
you guys head out. Sorry. Sleep or something. You head out in that general direction, striking out across the desert in the heat of a double sun morning.
It's hard. It's worse than it was yesterday. Why are there 2 suns?
Double suns for a double princess.
Oh yes, that's probably exactly right. Yes.
All the sun lighting, illuminating you in your glory.
There are 2 songs.
Not specifically, but based on all that you've learned recently, you assume there's something to do with the alignment and the shooting.
I don't think I have any comfort spells.
Everyone roll a Constitution saving throw except Lolly.
Guys, what a beautiful morning.
Shut up.
Oddly, it's pretty nice, eh? You don't feel overly hot at all.
This is grand.
Is it called?
22.
Yeah.
2.
That's a good noise.
5.
5.
That's also 5, 6.
6.
16.
So as the day wears on, sometime after midday, Lilith and Isabel become incredibly tired from their loss of bodily fluids in the incredible heat, and you guys have 1 point of exhaustion.
Yeah, that's fair.
And all you can see around you is the haze of the heat, and you begin to hallucinate a little bit, thinking that the forest is just over the next rise, then just over the next rise.
Oh, at least it's over this next June. Oh, it's over that June over there. No,
I think it's down further.
no, it's over here.
I'll actively start working to shepherd them.
Yeah.
So I could left. It's over here. Sweat
Every
dripping
so
down
often
and
you
it
get
gets
a
mad.
light from someone, or a quarterstaff, or a mace, or a censer, or
Yeah, I got a quarter staff.
wander
I
off
think
in the wrong
I'm a
direction,
bit too much.
Shepherd talk, you say?
keeping you on track. They're lucid enough. Lilith's having a grand old time.
Come on, guys, keep up.
It's very strange for the rest of the group that, the full drow in the party appears to be perfectly fine in the broad daylight. No problems whatsoever.
Actually, feeling a little bit cool. Anyone have a blanket? Anybody?
You're laying it on a bit thick over there, don't you think, Lolliput?
I don't want to get a chill.
It's very nice. The clothes.
See, love.
What? Why are you talking to this giraffe here?
Well, the giraffe said my clothes are nice.
Yeah, well, the giraffe's an idiot.
I give her a tap with my quarterstaff. Just keep moving.
Stop touching me with your long giraffe legs.
As long as she's walking forward, I'm fine.
Come on, Lilith, let's go. Let's go.
Lolliput, how much further is to this oasis that the stone told you about?
It's got to be able to next June.
Next dude.
Didn't you say that last one?
Yeah, but it can't be too many more Junes.
Too many more dudes? Anyone? Hang on, I'm here a week.
Alright. It's about 3 hours later, after just over the next week.
Yep.
So mid-afternoon, the sand begins to peter out into hardened red caked earth, and you can see that the sun has certainly baked this harder earth, and it is very dusty, and little puffs of dust snake out under every step you take.
I was messing up my clothes.
We found the ocean, guys, and I lean down and I grab like thing and just go. It's refreshing. Why is it hard?
Can I ask, Dungeon Master, do I get the impression that sandworms would struggle to emerge in this
You can make that assumption. You feel like it would be much safer in the harder packed earth. They seem quite at home in the sand, but they didn't want to come into the rocks or anything like that. So the hard packed earth might be too much for them. That slowly gives way over the course of the next half an hour or so to this sort of soft grassland, and you do see a small stand of trees. Not enough really to be a forest, but possibly what you are looking for.
Trees! Ho!
Wow! The silver veil!
That's right. That's right, Loath.
That tree is enormous. I didn't think you'd ever say it was that beautiful.
Shh. Drink your water. I hand her a
I'm
rock.
out of it.
Have some of mine.
Here.
Honestly, it's just kind of fun this way.
No, that's luring you into a false sense of security, kid. She is never fun and only ever dangerous.
Why not both?
What was that?
Well,
Just bird.
I rolled to attack a vulture or something in the air.
Go for it.
I'll see if this
That's a
happens.
nat 20.
Having dinner tonight.
You just see Willis.
Just out of nowhere, just barrel roll and just.
Shadow Blade materializes, slicing through nothing. Lilith, you see this vulture explode in a shower of gore. God, underneath us, it just.
If you're
What the
Yes.
fuck?
Like American Beauty, doesn't it?
if you're a fan of the living, then
And then that dagger goes.
Now, I just need to make this so quickly. I'll get a quick marching order from you all. Not all these ones.
I think me and Lilith would be in the middle to be heard.
Absolutely.
yeah. So I'll be at the back still tapping with my quarterstaff.
This latest tap gets like a dagger out, and I'm like, Giraffe, I swear to God, stop it.
I will be in the middle of you two.
It makes sense. I'm at the front.
What is this horse doing here?
It seems you've taken the Swiss through.
Yeah, this is what gave it away.
Isabel, stop shouting. You're screaming right now.
Wait, and I feel around. Which did I give you the water or the breakfast wine?
Oh,
What?
no.
Whatever this is, I'm gonna pass it to you. Is it the order or breakfast one?
It's over a 10.
Saddle polish.
Over 10 is the breakfast one.
It's breakfast one.
We're gonna explain it.
It's 16.
She's not, now she's exhausted, heat stroke,
And drunk.
and dehydrated and drunk.
Yep.
I'll be taking that, and I tip it up, and there's like one drop.
I didn't listen to our marching order. So.
I'm in the rear.
Why is that man in the sky yelling at us?
Because remember, Lollyput's got that confidence of, you being, Lingiari natural now.
Yeah.
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 I'm pointing at trees like you guys have never seen it before.
Please tell me half of them are just completely wrong and he's making up.
Making up the language.
That is obviously the
Aspergillus borealis.
Aspergilla dahlialis right there, and the silver dusk bark as we there. That's corn. You might have heard of corn. Corn is right there. It's
Oh,
bigger.
sweet!
Very.
I walk up and grab whatever is in the corner. It's like,
Yep. You might need to cook it first. It might be a bit tough. This is obviously wild corn.
it's really tough.
It's just a branch.
Yeah.
Look, so long as she's not doing any permanent damage to herself. It should
Very
be fine.
spiky.
Right.
Should be fine. Everyone I worry about her at least.
Okay, so we are looking for a tree with a face. And Lilith, I know you might be seeing a lot of them around right now, so we'll just not take any suggestions from you, but those of you who might only be seeing one or no faces on trees at the moment.
I don't see any faces on tree.
We have to find one. That's the only one that matters. Is one tree with a face on it.
One, just a singular tree with a face.
Alright, I'm on the mission. I go invisible and I run.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Lilith,
Lilith is invisible.
you need that body.
Absolutely.
You need to
Stay in eyesight.
Go ahead and roll.
That's a bit hard.
It's a 27.
Stay with your body, Lilith.
Hold on. Can I counterspell that? I feel like it's done. I would have had to have noticed you casting it.
Where would Lilith like to go?
I've fully run just straight.
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead into the
Smashing through trees, punching deer.
Roll your perception check.
Yeah. Not too bad. 17.
17. Alright, you do, as you're running through Helter Skelter, you feel like, oh, look like a couple of drow. You just keep on going.
Yeah, that's fair. They feel this.
So,
Must have been the wind.
Farting as you go by.
That's what you guys for.
I will cast See Invisibility.
See invisibility? You just see the blur ahead of the red cape of Lilith disappearing. But you do also actually make a good perception check.
There she is. Oh, there's a drop there.
It's like, hang on.
Wait a second.
See who you see and who you don't see.
Perception, that will be a 13.
Well, you just see one person standing over by the tree here.
Just leave the tree down. It's part of her running through.
This guy here. There are a couple that you do not see. Are you moving forward at all?
Well, yeah, we're all sort of
I definitely am.
progressing further.
Face. Where's the face?
Shall I put? Just hold for a second. Do you,
It's just still going.
I think there are people up ahead.
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
Lilith has already run past them, but
You do begin to make out the tree with the face in it. It's quite a large carving. It looks to be doesn't quite look elven or drow, but it is certainly a humanoid face.
Whereabouts is it?
Unfortunately, that tree did not make it to the set today.
Whereabouts is it in relation to us?
Just a few paces ahead. It's this bigger tree just here.
Okay. Okay. Do they see us?
I don't know. Were you expecting people to be here?
A druid was apparently supposed to be our contact. So, do they look druidy? How many of them are bears?
They look. There are no bears. No, nor are any of them bear.
Isabel, you do notice that some drow have gotten around behind the group. And as they step out of the trees, one of them appears to be wearing leathers. They all look like they are dressed for hiding in the trees and the foliage of the jungle. But one of them is in heavy plate armor. Cuts a familiar figure you have seen previously.
Is it my future wife?
It is Sherlock Leopold.
It is her. And
What's her name?
yeah, I couldn't remember what episode that was, and I could not find.
One sec.
Session.
You named her
Shaz.
Shazam.
It's now Shazam. Where is it? I haven't gone far enough.
That's Terror it was. I believe. Anyway.
Inquisitor.
Yes.
Amar.
Shy Sandra?
Sure. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Shy Sandra.
And you notice that the Eldora, the family druid, is present as well.
Guys, there's
Oh.
behind us. There's a lot.
Isabel, come in. Come closer. Falsters.
Have they seen us?
They definitely see it. They appear to be surrounding the group.
Calm down, everybody. It's just my household staff.
Are you sure?
Probably.
Greetings, everyone.
Falsters, that's the wrong thing to say.
Sorry.
Why would you say that? Sorry, guys, he didn't mean any offense by that.
Yeah, so
Yes, I'm new to these parts. Faust Lolthanwei, priest of Eldith. Eldith be with you all.
I'm really sorry about that.
one of the guards, this fellow, he spits on the ground.
I know, right? Right?
Be careful with that moisture. It's very warm.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
It's Eldora that responds.
Excuse me? When did you start referring to me in first name basis?
Well, since your mother wants you to return home, post haste.
Yeah, that's why I called her.
Interesting things are afoot.
Yeah, I know. Duh.
I see you have not changed at all.
Duh.
Well, come on then, over to the tree, I suppose. Are you ready to leave immediately?
Yay.
Look, I know where the tree. I'm going to go to the tree. You don't have to tell me to go to the tree. I'm just going to go to the tree. Guys, we're going to the tree.
It's right in front of you, Lollipop.
Let's go to the tree.
I deem invisible and I go, sorry, I didn't find it. There's no tree with a face on it and it's an high place.
That's okay, Lilith. You did good work.
I'm sorry I failed you. I bared my heart to you before and now it is, I don't feel so good.
Just calm out. Sort of just, no, okay, come on.
I semi-pass out.
I'll start tending the collapsed form of Lilith.
Alright. So, everybody, this is Kit, Falstus, Lilith, and Isabel.
You need to wake that one up. We need to get through the tree very quickly.
Falstus, you're on that?
Yeah, I've got like a sort of like a cloth and some water. I'm like just sort of dabbing a face, trying to like.
Falstus, stop bogarting the spell slots.
I'm stopped. What? Sorry.
Just heal her up. Come on, we gotta go. You're embarrassing me in front of the Dark Elves.
Lilith, do you require assistance?
No, I'm fine. Get off me.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so face tree. What you got?
So, Eldora raises her staff and slams into the ground, and you see that a little sliver of green energy spreads out from the staff and into the tree, and you see that the mouth slowly rises and opens, and there's a green void where the mouth opens and opens into a doorway, and the others in her party race through quickly, and she ushers you through. Quickly as possible now, before it closes.
I duck through without a hesitation.
I stop and ask, "Where is this taking us?"
Where do you think? She goes as well.
Look, they went through first. Come on.
Well, that just leaves a pertinent question as I fall into the tree. Yep.
Closes. Everyone got through. Lilith went through.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought I heard you say that.
Yep.
All right. Excellent.
Hands up who didn't go through.
Feel yourselves being pulled through the strange network of interconnected trees. And it is there that we might take our break tonight so I can reset the table for when we come back. So we're going to take a short 10-minute break.
Ooh,
I'm worried.
can we call this episode Tree Hole?
I like the idea. I had a note down here, Lichen, Loathing, and LolthVegas, but you know.
We'll be back in 10 minutes. Please stick around and we will see you soon.
Nothing impossible.
While he's doing that, General Amar, I didn't realize I warranted such attention.
Well, Loathing is it, I believe. Not specifically attention for you directly, but we were quite curious as to where this one was going. And she motions towards
Eldora.
Eldora, and who she was retrieving in such secrecy and haste.
Aren't I a citizen of the Silver Vale? Can I not return home?
Certainly can, certainly. It's an interesting time to return home. And typically, someone from a higher family returning home would probably seek audience first from the royal court.
I mean, I just got in. Wouldn't that be the next thing?
Oh, we could certainly take you there, absolutely.
Fan fiddly fastic.
Shall we escort you in then?
Is that entirely necessary? I'd like to freshen up at the estates first before
I
I
think
turn
we can
myself
find
to
somewhere for you to do such a thing.
Doesn't really seem like I'm being left much of a choice.
You could probably take that reading of the situation, certainly.
Well,
I really don't like this.
can I allow my my staff here to return to the manor with my possessions?
Let's see. Give me a persuasion check. Right.
That's an odd thing to say to me.
Persuade me.
Do a persuasion.
Good show. I shall let you.
Also, I only got an 18.
An 18. No, as you head backwards, the female brow over here by the heavily armed person looks directly into your direction and slowly gives us almost imperceptible shake of her head, indicating that is probably not the best thing to do right now.
I stop and I just go,
I figure rather than tell you my role, I'd act it out.
Go for it.
So they really haven't gone to the toilet since going to the big tree, and everyone needs to go. And Lilith has diabetes.
Well, she's
Falsus is
that's why I was trying to sneak off.
Falsus is an alcoholic and he's going for withdrawals.
There's no need.
That's
so
accurate.
we need to go to the house, and they show up later, please.
That was a 3.
Look,
Have we done something?
that was absolutely
I was
perfect.
waiting for you to just be like,
It's certainly like to have a chat with Eldora. And if there was anything certainly at home, they're not really too much interest to us.
I mean, I tried to have a chat with Eldora myself, and she would not budge. She is not the conversationalist. I tried to talk about trees, and no, just a brick wall.
Oh, she just likes to talk about trees.
What?
She likes to talk about
Eldora.
So might I just make a query? Your Majesty. Is that what I say? Your Princess Majesty? I would know what to say to someone, but the words are escaping. Your Grace?
I'm really not a good gauge here.
Yes, yeah. So, if we are free to go as travelers, Lolliput, do you want to?
Well, you see, as
Yes, sorry.
visitors to the Silver Vale, you are uninvited and trespassing within our territories.
Oh,
So you must come through and have a chat with us as well.
Passport control.
we didn't know that.
We were here on invitation of the House Lolthanwei, so we do offer our sincerest apologies if
Well, if that's the case, we can certainly clear this up.
Can I whisper to... Is General Hyman I'm still speaking to?
Yep.
The elf with the beard might be smuggling contraband in his anus. Wink. I want to check that.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Please. There's one time you don't let me down. Persuasion, you said?
Yes.
It's a 24.
24.
It's a 19 plus 5.
I'll be certain to let the captain of the guard know to do a thorough search
Expecting mass destruction.
for your audience.
Is the captain of the guard a beautiful elvish maiden?
Fighting checks?
Heavy armor, actually. It's very heavy.
Thick fingers.
I mean, obviously there's table talk, but yeah.
Counsel on the heavy armor. You, based off your understanding of the Silver Veil culture, it is highly unusual for a member of their society to be wearing such heavy armor.
Yeah.
They're completely clad in plate. There's no skin or hair or anything showing. And from a brief look around, you can see that the hair colours vary from lots of mostly vibrant greens, blues, and purples that blend in with the unique foliage of the Silver Veil.
Well, we'll follow your lead, Lilliput.
Very good.
Are the bosses here next out here? Oh.
Not that I believe that we have much choice in the matter. Would that be fair to say, General Hyman?
That would be a very fair thing to say, indeed.
Yes. Well, we shan't like to cause any trouble.
Yeah, I mean, shall we find it's just routine kind of stuff? You know, declare any plants or animals one might be smuggling, if one was.
Sorry?
I think he's developed a nervous twitch.
Yeah, so I scratch on my nose right
Your
here.
nose. Do you require healing?
Healing! Oh, look who's liberal with the healing right now. This guy. Right here. This one here. That's the one.
Alright.
Right,
So-
not the time.
Eldora is escorted off by two others, these two here. And you guys
Stop
get to go
fighting.
with this group here. I'll just flip the boards around.
Before she gets escorted,
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk up and I'll just be like, wait 1 second. And I grab her on the shoulder and I go, don't you ever talk to Lollywood like that ever again. You hear me? And I sort of push her away and I pickpocket her at the same time.
Maybe slide of checks, we'll see what we get.
Who are you pickpocketing?
See how it goes.
Were you saying that in a whisper or at?
Normal volume.
I'm gonna inside check that. That's a 15.
15?
If you were sincere or not, because that would be.
Well, the pickpocket was 24.
He was sincere about that pickpocketing.
And I was sincere about the pickpocketing, but I was using what I said as a ploy.
Right, who did you pickpocket?
Eldora.
Ah,
That's the sound that you're going to think of.
You think I
As
had
we go to your
special place?
Pickpocketing of Eldora, but I did not.
there's a chance they just don't believe you.
You do manage with that roll to get the other half of the sending stone that Lolth has.
Oh,
And
you were gonna fuck with them.
Also a folded letter, which you can resolve later on.
Secrets. I'm good at pulling out the threads of secret. And then I'm pulling anyway.
Interesting plot
Keep your
point.
secrets.
Alright.
Just in the file.
Just
We elves were very well liked before you started showing up. Never went on any adventures.
I come back and I just give you the fist bump finally.
Just gonna come back and say we're gonna start sit back down, sit on the spots.
Bestie.
The next time she'll get a couple of D's and it's like nice.
Put those away.
What?
Your knife being drawn from the street.
Don't draw weapons when you're being escorted to the capital.
I'm gonna do it with a slight handshake. Yeah, it's a natural. It is.
It's so hard to read.
That's a 30.
And the check was 35.
But you're being escorted through the woods of the Silver Veil, and let me just get the concept art up so I can remember where it is. But you are walking through this dense forest. There are, as you saw before, there are hints and elements of housing embedded in the trees. And looking up and around, you can see that There are a number of small houses and lookouts in the branches, about 100 feet above, and the lowest of the branches of some of the trees. And then it opens into a very large clearing, and on top of the clearing there is a large building, sort of almost sculpted into the land itself, that fits in with the surrounding trees almost imperceptibly. So if you were to look from above, it will just look like more of the forest. And beneath that, there are large crevices that are crisscrossed with walkways leading into the Underdark, and a almost silver gleaming lake forming waterfalls deep into the Underdark. And it's almost as if the city expands deep below, and there's only a very small presence on the surface, and it appears to be the royal palace that is on the surface. Which is why you know is in fact the case. Or the very upper levels of the royal palace are found around. You are led deep down into the bowels of that palace, into the main audience chamber of the Twilight Queen.
On the way, as we're making awkward attempts at small talk with our captors, if we ventured questions such as, so how are things going in the Silver Vale this past 10-day, etc., did they share any information about what's been going on? As we tried to make idle chit-chat, not at all nervously.
Not at all nervously. The Major General engaged in some conversation. Well, we are at war with the Imperium. They have taken a scorched earth policy and are desecrating and destroying our homeland, burning everything in their path.
It's terrible. Surely they could have averted this conflict.
Alright. Well, they've been trying to break through for another 50 years or so there is that.
Yes. Unnecessary. Surely Menard has enough.
So I missed that.
I said, sorry, surely Menard has enough.
No, because they have a thirst for expansion and control. They'll not be happy till they control all of Amar.
Just like the gods, they don't know.
Funny that.
Huh? What? Somebody says.
Anyone else would like to say or do anything on the way in?
Grab some street food that we walk by. I've been hankering for some of that Silver Vale specialties.
Find a nice mushroom stew.
Ooh, can you mushroom pho?
Sure. Yes, absolutely.
Are they kind of like tour guides?
Roasted nuts and things.
Oh, yes, please. Oh,
Absolutely.
guys, you gotta try this.
Spices and...
Oh,
It's not far from
Yeah,
here.
really got to.
it's really good.
No.
Isabel?
Oh,
I know
Silver
what
Vale
mushroom
specialty.
stew.
Wow, this is wonderful.
Yeah, everyone grab one. Everyone grab one.
Sure, it almost feels like we're not even captive at the
Your
moment.
Highness, you want one?
Is she still with us, just walking through the streets? Like a commoner?
We walk everywhere, it's just how we wrong, man. Kid, the fruit of our people.
Sure, yeah.
Take it. And lots of sauce.
What?
In soup?
What goes in this?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, no, you gotta try it. Just stir it around a little bit. Some more herbs. Yum.
No, I can. Okay, yes.
Right?
Yes, that's very, very earthy.
Refreshing.
I pick up like a dozen of these mushroom skewers and I'm like holding them now because I'm really into these mushrooms.
Yeah.
They're really good.
While you're walking through, you notice that people look at you with a mix of welcome and a little bit of suspicion here and there. And you sort of get the feeling that most of these elves probably know each other. And it's quite unusual for them to see a dark elf that they do not know.
Yep. And this is why I wasn't asking questions.
You okay?
Mostly?
Because sometimes that place can get a bit upset in the tummy. You're not feeling anything in the tummy, are you?
No.
But have been pulled up on health violations before.
I'm glad you told me this before you made me try the thing.
No, it's all good then.
Yeah, you have the rest. You seem to enjoy it just so much.
If you're done with it.
Yes, absolutely. Enjoy. Am I able to make an insight check to see if it's just general kind of distrust or if it's more of a recognition?
It's a bit of distrust tinged with curiosity about where has this unknown drow or unknown dark elf come from.
Okay.
Skit gets in some funny looks, Skit.
You're not wrong. Look, I'm a little off balance, I'll admit.
You're not from here.
I've never been here. I'm sure that back at some point my father was from here, but I know almost nothing. And it only now occurs to me that I've been travelling with a drow this entire time and I've never thought to ask. But there's the whole, collapse of the world thing, and...
Trust me, Lightwood is probably not the best person to ask anyway.
True. But, I mean, look, at this point in time, I'm a little afraid to ask, because, the last thing I need is for us to get in and then I ask and potentially there's something absolutely terrible that I'm related to, and, well, no offense.
What's my pointing case?
So, I mean, I was hoping that I'd be able to avoid it until we had a little bit more time to settle in, but it doesn't look like that might be the case.
What is your story anyway? Where did they pick you up?
It's complicated.
It's generally a single location where you meet people.
So, where they picked me up, right? Yes. Mordoon.
Oh, the dwarf place.
Yes.
Yeah, tavern.
A tavern?
Oh, you don't know.
You were born in a tavern?
No, you found me in the tavern. Remember? Name?
Yeah, we
name?
did. Yes. Very convenient system, that.
Sorry, we haven't had time to just chat about your adventures without me.
No, so I think it was just after you went missing that they ran into me.
Yeah.
I have a very complex relationship with certain things that were going on in the city. And so when I met all of these lovely people, I wasn't entirely sure quite where or who I was. As I said, it's complicated.
Story for another time.
But long story short, from what I know, my father was presumably from the Silvale. He was drow. But he's not around to ask. And he never shared.
Went down to the tavern to get a packet of cigars and everything home.
More like went down to the mines and didn't come back. He was.
I mean, there's the Underdark. He probably kept going.
He wouldn't have kept going without me. I'll put it that way. But
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. Is that the right phrase?
Well done. Great sympathy over there, Lilith.
yeah, look, it's
She's working.
Thank you.
She's working on it.
See, what do you mean working on it?
Are you not?
So
That was sincere. What are you talking about? I couldn't have been any more sincere.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't know where my father came from. That's what it comes down to. My earliest memories are, definitely not Elven. My earliest memories are from effectively a cult camp of Valindra. And from then, we ended up in Mordoon when I was a child. And that's basically all I've got. I have some recollections of some of his, maybe his house symbol or something like that, but it's just, yeah.
Well, perhaps while we're here, we'll pull on that string for you.
Yeah, it's very much not quite well run such scrutiny, potentially.
These people.
It is fairly clear that the pace is slowed while you guys explore this conversation, so they can get a read on you and your motives.
Any daggers pulled, any knives they're not chased?
Just walk slow down so they can allow it to unfold and
Do they trust us now?
evolve.
And just let's go merrily on our way because they're like these jackasses.
Highly doubt it. At least they're, at least they're no less confused than I am now.
Lolthawei, Isabel is kind of taking mental notes of, like culture, the food, maybe any like historical things around. Would she see anything like that?
Not so much, yes. You can see that there are some motifs and things in artworks and carvings into the walls, but there's nothing that sort of stands out as significant. A lot of it is a motif of sort of the heart tree.
Interesting.
Which you did not see on your way in.
On that note, Lilliput, can we have a conversation later?
Yeah, sure. Wait, what now?
I just want to run a name past you and see if you know anything.
Okay, dokie. Wait, what name?
Not now. Later.
Sure. When later?
Later.
Alright.
When we're no longer
Tomorrow?
potentially being prodded along to a audience that we don't really expect.
Okay, I'm kind of a big deal here, so if my calendar gets full up, I just want you to book something early, right?
Of course, Lolliput. I would never dream of, bothering you and your great important duties with, burning questions such as, trying to find out my own lineage. It's fine.
Great. Awesome. Awesome sauce.
Glad we had this talk.
But it is about this point, as your discussion ends, that you arrive at a large set of double doors, which the Ranger General pushes open, and you can see there is a large audience chamber, and there is a group of beings of various races assembled, and they appear to be awaiting your arrival. You see, in that grouping, you see an orc, a drow who appears to be some sort of guard with a bow. You see looks to be some sort of minotaur. You see a large female ogre. And, I haven't put it out yet, but also, I've just had a complete and utter mental blank on this cow person. A furbolg. Wow. Cool. Good job.
No, in your world, they're called catfish.
Yep.
Cannon.
The old CPs.
Yeah.
And in the middle of all that is a very regal-looking dark elven woman who could be none other than the Twilight Queen. Who, Lolliput, to be named Teorana Ilvera.
Tay Ilvereth.
And despite the fact that there is a furbolg and a large ogress in the room, she stands with a commanding presence, and it's clear that she is in charge, despite the intimidating appearance of some of her companions.
Yeah, Lolliput is definitely a little bit less assured, less confident. Oh.
And you see that she has flowing silver hair that comes down to her waist, and it's adorned with intricately woven braids. And you see elven jewelry and bits of vibrant plants and flowers in her hair. And there's a golden crown on top of her.
Who's Miss Fancy Pants?
That, the Reigning General pipes in, is the Twilight Queen, Tehrana Ilvrath. She has requested an audience with any unusual arrivals within the Silver Veil.
It's rather personal for somebody of her status.
The time of war.
I really thought she was about to be racist.
I get to talk to the Queen.
Oh, she's very interested in talking to someone from House Lolthanwei.
Chills.
I pull out a comb from somewhere and I start like combing my hair and doing my beard.
Yeah.
Well, it just rolls her eyes.
You roll a no, you would probably just know this. You are aware that she is a very powerful sorceress. She has ruled over the Silver Vale since the growing or cultivation of the Heart Tree. She was a revered warrior, leading her people in battles on the front line, before becoming the queen.
And when was the cultivation of the heart tree?
When was the cultivation of the Heart Tree? That was roughly 1,500 years ago. Exactly.
Yep.
I'm just going to show the timeline is in fact up to date. I'm sure it's...
I look down at my Lingiari garb and go, oh, and just illusion my normal clothes. Back to the place.
You can see
Dirty peasants.
that as you approach, her piercing gaze passes over each of you as she assesses you, and her gaze lingers on you for a moment, Kit, as she takes in your tattoos.
Most of them would be covered up by her armor at the moment, but there would be a reasonable amount sort of poking out sort of from forearms downwards, chest. Kit will also fall back to her sort of her habits from her time in Mordoon and sketch out a very low sort of addressing royalty style dwarven bow.
Excellent.
You look like a little mischievous goblin over there.
So,
Here to feel nice. Here to feel nice. I want the couch.
Sorry, there's death traps in there.
That's right.
Excellent.
So she'll press a fist to her chest, bow low.
There's a moment of surprise at the formality of the dwarven bow, and she does return a perfect imitation of the dwarven bow to you.
Hey, she did the same thing.
That's not what's meant to happen.
Unnerved.
Very.
I'm going to proceed up to the appropriate distance for elven kind and take a kneel.
About there, as you kneel down in front of her.
I'll observe natural formalities.
You see the guards sort of split off to the side. The general goes and takes her place in the middle there.
Your Majesty, big fan.
That is interesting to hear from someone of House Lolthanwei.
No, why?
Perhaps we should have a chat about. Well, you've been absent for quite some time. Perhaps you can inform us of what you've been up to.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I've got some really cool stories. How long do we have?
None of this.
I'm going to focus pretty much on Duncan Knuckle and the rights that he wronged in the small town of Ernest?
Elnest.
Yeah.
The owlbears.
Interesting.
Don't forget the coterie. The
House
establishment
has
coterie.
gone strangely quiet tonight. We've had very little word from House Lolthanwei from your mother.
Oh,
You can return there with a message when you are released.
of course.
Online from this audience.
I mean, people are usually telling me to be more quiet, so I don't really understand what the problem might be.
Perhaps we can explore that shortly.
Please don't.
And the remainder of your companions, who are they?
Well, we've got Kit here.
Kit.
She's really cool. We've got Falsters. We've got Lilith over there. I'd say keep a firmer grip on the crown. And Isabel, she's really good at meditating, except when she gets annoyed with me.
Which is
I imagine.
pleasure to meet you, Isabel.
Your Grace, I did a bow. I don't correct
Little
his
just goes.
terrible introduction of me.
Welcome to the Silver Veil. I'm sure that, as I'm sure you are probably aware, it is an interesting time to have visitors on our doorstep. Did you come to be here?
Well, I contacted Mum, and she set up a teleportation hole in a tree. And we came through, and General Hyman grabbed us.
Gee. Not so long as you speak, it's clear she already knows the story. Just quietly reading you to some extent. Very well. It is strange to have visitors at such a time.
Why?
Well, she looks around. We've been gone quite some time, I suppose. This is our war council. See? Planeswalker Harun. She looks to the Minotaur.
No.
Has reported some interesting things happening to the west. And I'm sure you know we are the Imperium on our doorstep in the east, burning everything in their path. Why would you come here now? We are under siege.
To help out? This is my home.
How can you help? Well, with the first offering of help we've had from your household, so we welcome help.
I welcome the opportunity to protect my people.
I'm very glad to hear that. And your companions, what do they bring?
Well, she's got knives.
Pure, unadulterated violence.
Well, perhaps we can put that to work.
You point me at whatever you need, it will be dead.
And probably robbed.
Not necessarily in that order.
Your Grace, I would bring you. I would bring you peace and diplomacy as a priest of Eldith, and I would ask questions at an
Her
appropriate time.
expression does not change, but you can see that all of her companions, a look of distrust and disgust crosses their face at mention of help.
I am strangely relieved by this.
Perhaps, my elven friend, it would be wise to not mention your deity in this place.
Would that be something I'd be aware to not drop?
Not specifically. You would be aware that they worship Saloon, and
There's a relationship
significant
there.
number also worship Brain.
Maliki?
Molly.
Sylvanas.
Sylvanas, yes.
There is more of a relationship
Do you
there.
want me to
Would I be able to tell if
It's like 5 degrees. I'm sweating like hell. I don't know what's going on. Yes.
It was the rice.
Yes.
Sylvanus and Saloon are the primary gods, and
But to
they
me,
have been at war with the Imperium and the followers of the Triumvirate for over a century.
see, it's because my interpretation would be that, because of the close relationship that Saloon, Sylvanus, and Eldith possessed, sort of, I guess, historically, that Eldith would be their sort of path into the Triumvirate, perhaps. They see it as hostility.
You get that sense that you see. That's
Right.
style, sort of element to.
Well, if far be for me to preach, I have questions myself about Eldith's place and position in the Triumvirate, given the peace she claims to worship. That said, I would support finding a diplomatic solution if it were within my power and your trust to grant me such an opportunity. I would not see the Silver Veil under threat, nor the Imperium continue their march.
What influence have you? You could expend this and pursue this diplomatic solution.
To be truthful, limited. Little, but what little I have, I would offer. I have not been an active part of the circles of Eldith for some time. My position in the church is tentative and casual, perhaps. But what aid I might offer, I would do it.
The offer is accepted. Come, I will show you something. She turns and she's walking towards the back of the chamber.
I follow.
Do anyone else go?
yeah.
She swings open a door at the back, and it leads into a very wide open cavern, and you can see that it is illuminated by bioluminescent algae and lichen, and there is a massive underground tree. And you can see that it stretches up, and at the very tip you can see that it goes right to the surface, and you can just see a little bit of sunlight touching the upper leaves. And it also looks as if it extends downwards further than the light allows you to see.
Can I sense, looking at it initially, whether the tree is healthy?
It looks healthy enough, yeah.
Okay. My mind went to the corruption.
It is, from where you can see, it extends up at least 200 feet and down beyond sight. And the trunk itself is probably, I've just got to convert feet in my head to make sure it's the right sizes, probably about 100 feet around from what you can see.
It's a big one.
It is a tremendously large tree.
Would I know it as the heart tree?
You would know it as the heart tree.
The heart tree.
What
This is
the Imperium seeks lies at the heart of this.
At the heart of the heart tree.
What do they seek?
The tree's sacred, right? Is it rare for people to see it, or is it more like an open thing in their culture? Like people could just come up here and go take like selfies at the heart tree, and
You don't know that, but you get the idea that she's sort of within 5 minutes is what you have. So.
yeah.
Would Isabel have seen this tree in books or anything before, or is this brand new to her?
You would have in your studies come across diagrams of the tree and discussions on its size and importance to the culture of the Silver Veil, but there's sort of only speculations as to its function and purpose.
Your Majesty, what do they seek?
What are you?
Persuasion check. You have advantage.
Oh, alright. I wasn't huffing, but thank you. Come on, even with advantage. That was a 2 and a 7,
Dice jab.
which, yeah, both of them. That was me no d20s.
Oh my God, you actually do
That leads me to 12 at most. Be gone.
Alright. Perhaps in time you can see, or we can show you what they seek.
As you wish.
You do know that, as part of part of your culture, that the heart tree powers much of the magical abilities and protections of the silver veil, and gives the forest its magical qualities, as well as the long. It's rumored to add to the longevity of the dark elven people.
Isabel's gonna correlate.
Whatever it is, they must not have it.
Oh, you certainly agree. Yeah, severely outnumbered.
Kit will step forwards and just make a sort of eyes cast down in reverence. Make a gesture, pressing her fist first to her forehead, to her lips, and then to her heart. Thank you for showing us this. So,
it is open to anyone with the ability to see and feel the importance of nature. It is fed from below by the earth itself, and from above by the moon.
Can I touch it?
Gestures that yes, you can certainly go and lay a hand on the trunk.
I do so.
Oddly warm to the touch, as if there's energy pulsing through it. Nothing unusual happens.
I watch Falsters closely.
Magnificent. Marvelous.
I would like to walk up and basically, press a hand to it.
It's quite warm.
You do feel a strange affinity with the tree, but it's just that same warmth and the sense of closeness and affinity.
Yeah. I'll have to speak to you later on this. There's the reading I was doing. There's a certain amount of there are things that I've figured out.
Piecing together, yes. I mean, I'm entranced by the tree. It's a beautiful tree, but I mean, it's a lot of unnecessary bloodshed for a beautiful tree.
It's not the first time it's seen such bloodshed.
How much do I know?
He looks at you with a quizzical look when you say that.
Your Grace, may I introduce myself formally, I suppose?
Straight up.
Lilliput's introduction was not formal enough.
Lilliput's introduction was adequate. Not really, I suppose. My name is Kithris Vincentia. I am of recently called to the Redeemer's service. Only more recently, discovering the import of her actions and how she ties into all of the events around us.
Just quiet for a moment. She takes in the group, and you in particular, Kit. You seem to have a knowledge that very few remember. How did you come by this?
Through quite a few channels, piecing it together over time. But some from old texts and some, as far as I believe, from the voice of the Redeemer herself.
She walks over to the tree and she reaches out a hand, and you can see when she touches it, it pulses with energy. Perhaps we should talk in private. At this point, it's that you realise that there are guards everywhere that, sort of sheathe their weapons and put their bows back on their back and sort of slink off into the shadows. But first I must complete our Council of War. Perhaps you should speak with the warden first. And I will come and see you when I can. I don't know how long this would take. Our forces are suffering defeats. The Imperium's tactic of burning the forest has countered our surprise attacks. We are few and rely on stealth, which is not going well when the forest is completely on fire in the middle of combat. Let me convene or adjourn the council, and I will join you. And she says, the warden of the West will see to your comfort in the meantime. And from the shadows behind, the elven princess does appear. This is the Warden of the West, Alari Ilgra, which is a ceremonial title held by the heir to the throne, in which Lollipop would know. It is her duty to oversee the western kingdoms or western territories of the Silver Vale, which include the beast folk of the Western Plains. And she takes you down and into a sort of like a lower level meeting chamber, which is adorned with some furniture and a table with food and drink on there if you would like to refresh yourselves.
Is there a little, carafe of the breakfast wine variety, perhaps? Just pouring it back into the flask. There was a question to you. I didn't ask. I was kind of like just
wondering. I don't know about breakfast wine, but I can certainly obtain some of our finest wines.
We only do lunch wines.
Yes.
Nightcaps, and I throw her a sly wink.
Twilight lens.
So, as you're in this chamber, you do notice that the paintings do depict different stages of the life of the heart tree, which is a particular interest to you, Isabel.
This is not sorry. This entire time Isabel has been like sketching the tree, taking notes, and any observations she takes.
Hold a thumb up.
Yeah.
You do
Going this way now is
notice and sort of comment on the fact that the drawings and studies that you've done do not do justice to the majesty and power of the tree and presence that it has. I should be back later. Alright.
I'll go up to the table. Is there like an apple or a pear or something?
There's lots of fruits, forest fruits, bananas from across the ocean.
Get a dagger and just stab something that looks edible and start eating it from the dagger.
Like messy, dirty, bloody dagger.
Yep. You can still see some blood stains on it.
The blood adds to the flavor.
So Isabel gets it.
Dirty iron from somewhere.
While Lollipop, not necessarily close to the princess, roughly similar ages, so you know each other well enough to have a conversation or to have had conversations in the past. Although the differences between the houses has sort of prevented you from ever developing a friendship.
It's not the ex, right?
And you know that she's probably a little bit younger, and you're aware that youth and the position she holds is unusual. which either speaks to the desperation of the current situation or her competency in her roles.
How did you pronounce her name again?
Ilaria.
Ilaria.
So she's either there because of reasons, or she's actually intelligent.
So, how have you been, Your Majesty?
Well, it's been a while. It's been out in the world. What's it like?
That's so good. Do you know the last ball that we're at, we were chatting about where we'd go if we had the chance? I went there. Just like crossroads.
For all the places.
It was filthy. Absolutely. You know, the first thing I did, rip off an Imperial Guard, it was hilarious.
She looks at the table and she's like, watch it, there's no dust whatsoever. She goes, sounds lovely.
Look, I'll show you what he looked like. I turned into him. Aaron, I think his name was.
I'll give you my gold.
It was just like that. And I bought everybody drinks and everybody loved me. I got stabbed in the leg, or shot in the leg. One of those two.
Don't forget the part where you cast magic straight across the square in front of Imperial Guards.
Yeah, this guy here, Falstus, it's Falstus, right?
I throw him a look.
He is so weird about magic. Really weird about it.
Why?
I don't know, it's just like weird. Weird. Why are you weird about magic, Falstus?
Princess, you should have seen him. He was walking through the square, just blasting Imperial scum left, right, and centre.
I think I got one good one.
I can tell she's bullshitting this.
I'm not weird about magic at all. The Imperium is, and I simply was trying to preserve your life and not have you arrested because you were clearly not from those parts.
I know, right?
I tried to help him, Your Majesty.
Well, the only place I'd be is down. Down.
At the deep south.
Deep. Deeper than anyone's been at.
You went to the Underdark?
Yes.
Whoa. Well, what happened?
That's probably a story for another time.
Oh.
More wine, Princess?
There are other drow down there. They're savage and vicious. They captured us, but we got away. Just yes.
More drow.
That unmannered, thank you very much.
Like bad drow.
That's evil. Red eyes and
Like these.
yeah, it's like that. There. It's no like
Remark.
not like the natural red. Unnatural. It was strange.
We actually went to the Underdark as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it was only we found an umber hole. And he fell down the hole,
Did I fall down?
and I caught him
Oh, yes, I did fall down. Yes.
with sick magics.
It was very sticky.
Then we found an underground forest. It's a huge jungle underground.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Where was this?
It was like north of the Imperial capital, I believe.
See, I was certain of it. If I were exploring, there has to be passages into the Imperium.
There is.
So maybe we can make use
I know of two,
better than none.
right? I'm pretty sure I can find more as well.
What would you do if you found your way secretly into the Imperium?
Should we say it together? 1, 2, 3.
Kill
Surprise
them all.
attack. Pretty much the same thing. Pretty much the same thing.
We cannot match their numbers. We cannot face them in open combat. We rely on stealth and subterfuge. It is the only way we can defeat these enemies.
And when you say killed them all, that sounds like there is perhaps a lack of distinguishing between the innocent.
Faustus, you're confusing things.
No, I would like clarity on this.
I mean, tell them, Your Highness, like, it's just the Imperial soldiers that we'd be after, right?
Yes, of course.
See?
Well, I mean, far be it for me to say, but perhaps if there were to be no distinguishing, how would that make the members of the Silver Veil in any way different from the aspirations of Eldrick Menard and his push for greater acquisition of Amar?
We've never tried to expand ever. What made you think we would kill innocents? Were you happy in it, Fox? It sustains us and...
I mean, why wouldn't we try... Exactly. Why wouldn't we try a flanking maneuver to defend ourselves?
That's not defense.
They're attacking us right now. It is defense.
No, if you invade the Imperium through tunnels and you kill them all...
From behind.
Yes, the position matters not.
Yes, it does. If somebody is attacking you and you come up behind them...
I understand
and then you
that you want to perhaps stop the advance, but I was not getting that inclination from Her Majesty's suggestion. I was simply teasing out the finer details.
Well, that's something that being proactive, right?
Of course. As a priest of...
Disrupt their supply lines, cut them off, circle back.
Yes, war, of course. My only aspiration is to preserve life and promote a peace if there is one to be found.
How does one find peace with the people who worship the god of war?
Well, he's supposed to be one of three.
It's supposed to be one of many.
Yes, I understand. However, Tempest seems to have had an unnaturally large sway over the other gods who I would have once called goodly. Clearly, he holds sway.
He's swaying his big old thing around.
Yes, it's a fine warhammer.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, then, Moradin, I mean, perhaps you might speak for the dwarves to the degree that you're able to. How does Moradin fit into this?
I mean, Moradin is... He's well liked and worshipped, but he's as much a power of staunch defense and strength as he is a power for the dwarves' desire to create and grow and, I suppose, establish their spot. They're a very sedentary lot, so I don't expect that there are many concerns about them expanding past their place, but Moradin's definitely not without his flaws or his part in things. So, as for Moradin's role with the dwarves, I can't speak for them. He's never been sort of the object of my faith. But, Your Grace, I will say that
It's how we get the subscribers.
it's a high def. But should your countermeasures extend as far as the dwarves of Mordoon and potentially, the other settlements, I will say that I have it on good authority that there are more allies that you would find there than you think.
The dwarves serve only because they've been conquered themselves. With the Imperium, their Imperium overlords were removed. The dwarves would likely just return to their holes in their mines and continue digging and building them. That's what they love.
A peaceful outcome.
I'm sure that the vast majority of them would. But there are those who hold sway that would also seek to push out for the betterment of all. In extending peace and maintaining the smallest count of destruction amongst innocents as possible.
Well, certainly support that. We want nothing more than left alone in our forests. And our caves and
Eating good food.
It was fine. Excellent mushrooms.
Strangely earthy.
I'm getting really sleepy though. So are we cool to just like head out or what's going on?
well, look. Here's the thing. My mother cannot be seen to work or ally with, well, to be direct, someone from your house or outsiders at all. Will not go well for her with the other major houses or the beast folk. But I, on the other hand, already have a reputation for being, what do they call it? Headstrong, ambitious,
In bed with the wrong
desperate to prove myself,
Does she return my earlier wink?
Yeah, you do, girl.
brash, impulsive.
I thought she was
other
sister.
things.
Yeah, you do, girl.
No.
Come on.
What? I think you would get along very well with Moira.
Loath. Thank you very much.
No, that's not real for it.
Ah. So how do we do this? Do you just give us lots of enchanted weapons?
What do you need? My mother sent you with me is to give you assistance of some sort. What are your aims? What are your goals and objectives? What can I do to help?
Well, the Imperium wants to bring the fight here.
Yes.
I think we should prepare for a worst case scenario.
Like a worse.
A worst case scenario. What is
Terrible case.
Double worse.
what is
Double worse.
the how do we prepare for a far-flung, probably unlikely scenario in which all hell breaks loose right here in the heart of the Silver Vale? Okay? So you've got an elite unit here, which might operate like a strike team, pursuing goals in favor of the Silver Vale. What items, weapons, funds, food, clothing, cravats you might supply to said strike team to allow them to really deliver some powerful blows.
Probably I have access to all our resources.
Excellent. Doesn't give
I
you keys.
think I'm in charge of the Western Silver Vale, and I'm the princess. I can.
Excellent.
What's the problem?
Think tank, go.
Well, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Falsus is probably kind of right. Maybe.
I love how you just leave a way out of that for yourself. Probably kinda.
Probably kind of right, yes.
Read it later.
But who's the real problem here? You don't want to see innocents dead, which is just boring, but besides that.
The bad ones tend to fight back more.
What?
The ones that aren't innocent, they tend to fight back more.
The ones that aren't innocent? Yeah, well, no, I understand that too. I'm talking about, it's beside the point. You want to kill, or at least stop, or at least talk to, or whatever the hell it is, there's one individual that is driving this, is it not?
Well, I suppose, what does the princess think is the current enemy?
Make a persuasion check with advantage. Anyone can make a check to lie. To take on that role.
Oh, one person though.
Yeah.
One person.
Who's it with you?
Who is the most persuasive?
Definitely not me.
I'll infuse myself
Not
with
great.
guidance. What was the check again?
Persuasion.
Let me see. 28.
I don't know how much you know. What do you mean, but basically, well, I would assume the Emperor is behind his orders to invade and destroy the Heart Tree.
Yes, but if perhaps we were to suggest that there may be great foes.
What kind of foes would they be?
I'm not suggesting that.
No.
No, we want to stop this war. We've got other things to deal with, yes, but if we need to do this with one strike, surgical precision is sometimes needed, and I've been told very well that the quickest way to stop a snake is to cut off its head.
This is definitely going on the board.
Out comes the whiteboard, which you just wheel for another. See episode 2, the Loathing escapade.
My connections, I reckon we can get right up to him. And once he's out of the way, then the war should be over, right?
Well, perhaps only just beginning. By our count, how many days are left?
You have 40 days.
That seems like more days than we actually have to. We have 40 days.
Yeah.
We have 40 days. Well, we move pretty quick.
Well, magic.
Yes, magic trees do help. 40 days. So let's say that we could stop a war in the next, week. That leaves us with only a few weeks to perhaps save all of existence. Could we just not work on that right away? Perhaps the war isn't our problem. It's one problem, but is it the problem? It's the princess's
giving
problem.
a solution to the problems that you guys are giving. I don't know what else to do.
Let's circle this. It's definitely a great idea. I think we need to be careful that the snake only has one head. If you know what I'm saying. It's definitely an avenue to explore, but who's to say the heir to the throne wouldn't pick up the same cause, or the Emperor doesn't have a room full of generals who are pushing for this.
That's true.
Or that the power vacuum isn't going to create even more distress.
Based off of a cursory evaluation, I believe that the princess and the court here are largely focused on domestic matters. And forgive me, princess, we have only just met, and a friend of Lilliput is a friend of ours. This might be perhaps a strange question, but you a champion for the living, and not just the draft.
The Heart Tree falls, we all die. So I suggest that we focus on that, because if we fail, he falls.
So just as a matter of, it's obviously bad for the elves of the Silver Vale, but for the dwarves and everybody else.
Solve that all that.
No, if the heart tree falls, we all die.
Like, is it that critical to
Yes.
be something that people know?
If the heart tree falls,
I'm asking sort of table here.
yeah.
You guys should know that.
Yeah, so on Table Talk, one of the last things that we saw leaving Alphan was
vision.
the vision and the confirmation that when the heart, or if the heart tree were to fall, Vorithos would be released in full.
Yes.
So the void would return.
Historical
Yes.
existence.
See, this is what happens when Lilith drinks all my wine. I forget things.
Anything. You were having episodes, you were mopey, you were walking around going like this.
We're focused on being dramatic.
Very.
Being so dramatic, and then being like, don't worry, Isabel, I've got this, and then throwing yourself into a chasm, which had an invisible bridge.
Yeah, no,
That's fine.
you were fine. But there was a moment of, I will do this.
So I would know, Dungeon Master, that saving the tree is absolutely critical.
Yes.
I guess what Faustus is suggesting is
is the Imperium's march the number one priority? And how much can we reveal? You guys will be picking this up to the princess based on, is she part of the cult of Alindra? Is she part of the Lolth resurrection? Does she want the Celestial Bastion opened or closed? Do we just keep our cards close to our chest? So, Faustus is looking very awkward as he.
I think he's thinking.
Your Grace, when you say let's put our cards on the table, as you can imagine, there are so many workings to what's going on that it's incredibly difficult to figure out who knows what and who to trust.
Thank you, kid.
You can imagine that we're in a very difficult situation. Would you be willing to potentially speak to us under a zone of truth?
Certainly, can do that.
At least that way.
Well, I mean, look. I do know a lot of sensitive information about my people and things like that, so I won't answer those questions. But anything else, absolutely.
Please.
What are you doing?
No one's forced to answer questions, but at least this way, any discussions that arise, we can be sure that what people say is truth. You don't need to answer all questions.
It would establish a level of trust in the broader group, would it not?
Sure.
Just remember, Lilliput, no is a full sentence.
Well, prepping this, can I quickly slide hand the eye of Mister up to see which way it's pointing?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's the lower one, because I've got exhaustion. 17. Any passives with that?
It is pointing directly, just straight out to where that is.
Yeah, that's what.
I was trying to think of it actually. It's definitely pointing at the heart.
Lilith looks to the archery room and then sort of just turns a little bit scratching and then pulls it out and just goes,
My passive is 17, would I know?
You would pick it up then. You would see that she's pulled it out.
And what does that tell us?
That's something.
That the Celestial Bastion is in the heart room.
Ah. You're welcome, viewers.
So if no one has, well,
if anyone
if the vast majority of us have few objections,
Oh, I'm an open book. Go ahead. Ask me a question.
you're a bit.
You just might not like the answer to it.
As I said.
so I'll take. I'm assuming that in this room, sort of the antechamber, there's enough space to kind of set it up where I'm not going to immediately capture everyone in it, and people can.
It's a big enough room.
Yeah, people can make the choice whether or not they step in or not. So I will drag my hand along the floor, carefully marking out the 15-foot circle with a line of ink.
Does it include the snack table?
It does not. That would limit our space.
Are the snacks just going to start speaking?
You could bring the plate with you. And then, so I'll sit in the center of it and sort of extend hands out and cast Zone of Truth.
All right. She comes and sits next to you.
I step in.
I also step in. What's the check?
Isabel's.
Charisma.
Nice.
As well. Let's go.
Do I have to do anything?
Only if you want to.
I think if you want to resist it, you can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can
Right.
resist it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isabel doesn't resist. I don't like him.
Nope. Natural 20.
I got an 18.
You two are both fine. You can.
Lie away.
Lie.
Oh, I feel so truthy.
Also, just so you know, I know that both of you failed.
You know we
succeeded.
came in and we resisted the magic.
Yeah.
I just smile at you.
Yeah, no, it's the nod of, I know. I'm not going to say anything, but I know.
I know that you know that I know that you know. We're just like...
So,
Alright, let's do this. What would you like to do?
well, I believe as an assurance, to start us off. So, to speak the truth, my name is Kithris Vizentia. I am a cleric of the Redeemer, and my goal here is to prevent the Eternal Void.
Right, I am Alari Ilvera, the Warden of the West. She read us through about 15 different titles.
Mother dragons. Traeger chains.
Keeper of the snack table.
Keeper of the snack table.
And
Cigarette chairs.
that's probably all of it, I guess. Yeah, I think so.
I'll go next. Faustus Elefay, Priest of Eldith, Foundling, and I believe I'm not from around here.
I am Lolliput Jennifer Lolthanwei. And I seek only the protection of the innocent.
Oh, it's my turn. I am Lilith Cheshire. Oh, I'm happy to get involved with this. Lilith Cheshire, and I'm extremely exhausted.
I am.
Did you see that second son? That's strange, isn't it?
Really strange.
I am Isabel Wonderflaw. I am a monk of Ayun and seeker of knowledge.
Do you understand what the multiple suns implies?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us.
Oh, well. There's an alignment of the various planes of existence, roughly over a month away, and we'll all exist in the same place at the same time, no matter what plane of existence we're on. And everyone will be able to just go wherever they want without any magic. Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to happen.
Yes. Good summary. Kit?
So, to
Did you know
establish
that?
Yes, we did.
How did you know that?
We know a
What do
guy.
people do? It's forgotten knowledge, really.
We know a guy. Small, Archmage, Imperium, fine fellow.
Well,
Likes half orcs.
that's not the thing about him. He's mediocre.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's very, very bad.
Yes.
No, I mean not. I mean
Absent-minded, really.
personality-wise.
We know that the Celestial Bastion sits with its crux here.
Yes, that's it. Quite a New York City. Yeah.
I know that this city in the Heart Tree is it's the core of the battle and the site of the Redeemer's effectively fall and sacrifice. And that should it fall, it means the end not only for us, but everyone as it stands, as Varithos consumes.
Well, look, that's mostly true. Mostly true.
How so?
Well, the heart tree is the lock to the celestial bastion. If it is broken, then unlocked, then the Celestial Bastion opens. But, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean at the end of everything. Everything that's in there will be released. It's not all bad in there, you know.
Well, I know that well enough.
That might be a good question to ask.
It's the prelude to the end, perhaps, then.
Do we want it to be opened, or do we want to prevent its opening?
Well, look. There are many people on both sides that want it open, and many people on both sides who want it closed. Al Celine wants it open. She wants her sister back. Much of a bitch, I suppose, as she is. Shard is in there, and her wants her sister back. But
So she still
is that
lives.
worth the sacrifice? Who knows?
Wait, what sacrifice?
Well, opening a bastion. There are lots of not so nice people in there.
Like who?
Well, let's have a look.
North.
Sorry,
What we know of. We know that Bashar is in there. Cyric.
Gareth, yes?
Well, Urgrath isn't really a god, but yes.
It's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's definitely bad. What do you know of Urgrath? It's an interesting name to bring up, actually. What else is in there? Many gods.
So I can't remember where we were when we heard we put together I can't remember whether it was an Alnist, but we got some information from somebody about who were imprisoned in the Bastion, and Urgrath was one of those names. And it's relevant, as we believe agents of a cult of Alindra have been playing out their activities to that end, to find a way to release Urgrath, or at least that's what we discovered from their agents.
That makes sense, I suppose.
Table talk. What was the connection again with the Celestial Bastion and the Vorithas being released? Like, what's the chain of events that we're expecting is going to result in him?
I'm not really too sure how that all pans out.
Do we know?
Just know that there was a war and Boriphus was defeated, and then a bunch of gods were sealed away.
So,
That's what you guys know. I'm full of existential horror.
how to explain? Urgrath was a champion of Asmodeus, and a general, fought against, good guys, us, was beaten, and turns out he was not really sworn to Asmodeus, sworn to something worse, corrupted, and that being Vorithos, the primordial void. You seem to know what that means. That's interesting as well. Because you have a lot of information for,
You go first, and then I'll tell you.
a long time. So
I'll dish.
yes,
You dish, I dish.
it's interesting. The Imperium and their gods went to a lot of trouble to try and eradicate all this knowledge. You seem to survive, which is interesting.
We are wily little gophers.
Some might say tenacious.
Yeah. So he was defeated in battle by a combined force of followers of the Redeemer and my ancestors and my mother and all those people. Thought we won the war. Turns out it was just a skirmish, really. It got a lot worse from there. So, how you saying?
So get this. Alindra, Madness, Goddess, she's back in Boriphus as well.
It's interesting. We never really quite understood what the gods got from backing him. Gods need a domain. If everyone's dead, what do they rule it? What gives them power? But they certainly did.
I had a play made against me by the goddess of madness herself. You know what she promised me? power.
Yes, we've had a bit of a surge in odd cults of what we thought was forgotten gods and deities and beings all over the place. Particularly in the West, it's been quite bad over there. Not so much here. The beast folk is rampant.
What trending cults do you have over there?
Trending? Well,
Trust is
What's trendy today?
It's a vampire.
mostly why I'm here, actually. I came back to speak with the elders of all the different beast folk, because they're here for the
War Council.
war council, yes. For the war. It's not going so well for us, I think we've heard that. Well, here we are. So, we've got a cult for. A leader has popped up here and there, not quite that bad though. Vishava, certainly. Moanda, which isn't cheap lot because he's not a pleasant person. Not wasn't God at all.
He's the god of diarrhea.
We share some of the tales about Moanda and the Blackened Heart and.
Yes, it seems that's happening in the West as well. I'm not really sure. We haven't come across any of those things you've talked about, but certainly present. We've had a bit of a surge in people worshipping Malar, the Black Paw, the god of the hunt.
Are all these cults destructive?
Not really. They're just sort of meeting in secret and praying to their gods and saying there's a return coming, which we know kind of isn't necessarily a lie, really. So there's that, I suppose. There's also a cult that call themselves the Ebon Void. They worship an Morgrath.
Morgrath.
A group called the Wailing Souls.
Morgrath.
Worshipping Tormentus. Something out everywhere.
I get the distinct impression that there are a lot of interested parties in opening the Celestial Bastion. Many.
What do you know about the Bastion itself?
Faustus, can we have a word?
Of course, I thought that's what we were doing.
Whilst I appreciate your honesty, you can understand that trust is a thing that is developed over time. Sure. I might have a word off to the side with my companion here.
Raj is.
Just come on. Come
Okay.
on.
Yep. She grabs me by my elvish ears and.
Retreat to a far corner.
Get into the table and I'm just like, you want to know some truth, princess? You're pretty hot.
Look, I think her and Moira would make amazing couple, to be fair. Different kind of double princess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so look, I need your gauge on this. Lolliput is lovely, but I don't trust his opinion on people in
Silvervale.
the Silvervale.
Sure.
I don't trust Lilith's opinion on anyone. And I don't know if Isabel knows enough of the situation to understand kindly, but through her, for lack of a god's guidance.
Yes, I'm unclear how that god plays into things, yes?
So I have information and I'm not entirely sure if I can share it without the potential of interested parties wanting to use it for their own advantage. And if I do, we have to be very, very sure that we're not going to have another resurgence of a power struggle that's going to basically reiterate this in 1500 years or less.
Yes. Well, with the zone of truth, we must tread carefully. But what is it that what have you pieced together?
So,
I say quietly.
Yeah. Yes. So, very.
What have you pieced together?
What?
So instead of speaking it out loud, I will pull out the tome, not the diary.
Yep.
And so, table talk, I'll speak it out loud, but, basically just pointing it out. Where is it? It is... No, it's in this one. Okay, so, look, here. So, as far as I can tell, and it's somewhere here. You wrote a lot, by the way. It's appreciated, but when I'm in a hurry. Yeah.
It won't be long.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so, out of their eternal struggle, the gods as we know them were born, representing various elements of their essence. Over time, these gods became jealous of the power of Alphaean and sought to harness it for themselves. My research suggests that it was Titus that first discovered the process, but Moradin perfected it for him, designing a siphon of sorts, the Celestial Bastion.
Siphon of power?
It's what happened to the Redeemer before she fell. In that she used to be a cleric of Alphaean, the creation, the antithesis to the void. Mm-hmm. And the reason the Triumvirate are so powerful is because they sought to imprison and siphon the power from all of these gods.
The reaping.
It's as far as I know, it's Alphaean is gone. Mistra and Shah, Iron, Titus, perhaps, they all... The text refers to them as being destroyed or dead, but it's, given what we were told, it's likely they're just in the Bastion being effectively drained.
To enhance the power of the Triumvirate.
Correct.
So they trying to understand this. The Celestial Bastion, closed as it is somehow powering the Triumvirate, and them being imprisoned allows them to siphon off energy.
I believe it's more so that if it was open and they had more control of it, they would be able to siphon more.
Right. So we come back to the fundamental question of will we or will we not be a party or in opposition to opening this thing?
We know it will partially open. We saw it in the vision.
Well, that could be averted.
No, the vision was a truth of the moment by the Redeemer herself. We know that can't be averted, but we...
So it will happen. It is fate. It is known.
It is. We all saw it.
Yes. We saw a vision. I mean, there are some very deep questions. Can we change that outcome? Is it one of many outcomes? Is it the only outcome?
I believe what we saw is written in fate. However, the details that we don't know about it can be changed. Just because it opens slightly doesn't mean that... I believe the Redeemer was saying that the doors can be slammed shut again in time. Not all of the power inherent in the Bastion needs to be released, for good or bad. But the question really stands, do we trust our newfound ally enough to share the information that, if they don't already know it, that the Bastion is a tool? It's a siphon.
I suspect that the princess may know of its true nature.
But if they don't...
When the Dungeon Master makes strange affirmative noises secretly,
of course,
not a good thing.
Was you the cast see visibility?
Yes.
Hello.
You notice something in the background. There is someone there that is invisible.
In earshot?
Yes.
Excellent.
Motherfucker. I mean, Fudge.
Well.
So do you give me a look?
I will stop talking entirely and focus on the figure.
Oh no, don't stop there, keep going. And they drop the invisibility now that you've seen them. And it is the Twilight Queen.
Your Majesty!
It is 10:15. So we'll stop there.
It's fate. It's like we can't even.
You're like,
My brain just went, oh. But
Right.
You know.
I'm sure it goes for now. Let me just double check it. Let's go for now. Alright, thank you for joining us. And I hope you enjoyed this session. And we will see you next week for the Cult of Hunger. Return. And then a week off because there'll be nothing for Anzac Day. We'll be back in 3 weeks for that after that. Interesting. Time to plan. So stay tuned for another news that we might have throughout the week. And we shall see you next Wednesday.
Peace out, homies. Fastest.